Blessed be Jah. Haile Selassie the first, king over all the earth. Haile Selassie the first, king over all the earth. Haile Selassie the first, king over all the earth. Haile Selassie the first, king over all the earth. Turn to 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16 without controversy. Great is the mystery. God was manifest in the flesh with his word, sent his son unto us, the promised Messiah. Primus the same Jesus, the precious blood of Christ is of a lamb without blemish, without spot. Show that idol worship the first day of the week could never be the Sabbath of the Almighty. Haile Selassie the first, king over all the earth.
It's important to understand what is anti-Semitism, because this term is used very broadly and it's used to basically cover up for the crimes and the atrocities that Israel is doing. So just because somebody criticizes Israel does not make them anti-Semitic. It doesn't mean that they hate Jews and they have some kind of something personal against the Jewish people. And I'm speaking for myself. You see, I don't have nothing against the Jews or anybody else, but we have a responsibility as human beings to call out what is wrong and to fight for what is right. And any person who's not, aligned with that fight is wrong and is on the wrong side of history and is on the wrong side of God. You see, but for us who want to see, the world become a better place, and who want to end war and who want to see progress, the only way that that's going to happen is when people are able to fight against the wrongs and to stop the wrongs. And in order to do that, people must be able to exercise freedom of speech. They must be able to express their opinion when they see something that is wrong taking place. And any kind of regime that would silence that voice and does not want to hear criticism and condemns all kinds of criticism, that's tyranny. That's tyranny when there's only one interpretation being allowed. So to criticize Israel and to say that the state of Israel and what they're doing in Palestine is criminal, that they're doing criminal acts, they're committing genocide, and any kind of criticism that you have on Israel, if it's legitimate, if there's evidence to your claims, then that cannot be defined as anti-Semitism, and Israel cannot continue to hide behind this definition of all criticism being anti-Semitic. They cannot continue to hide behind their religion to say that they are the chosen people of God, that is their land, and that they have the right to remove all of the Palestinians and to create a Jewish state exclusively for Jews. We all live on this planet, right? And we cannot be idealistic, because that is a sign of ignorance to be idealistic and to enforce your religion on other people and to trample their human rights, trample their right to self-determination, take over their country that they have been living there for thousands of years, to take over their country, take them out of their homes. This is something that people have the right to speak out against and to say that it is wrong. Everyone does not have to accept your religion, and your religion and your interpretation, your religious interpretation, does not justify you in a court of law, in the court of law to act in a criminal manner. You cannot say that my religion justifies me to act in this criminal way. So in looking at the definition of anti-Semitism, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance has adopted a working definition of anti-Semitism that the United States and other European countries have adopted. This definition, it says that anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, towards Jewish communities, institutions, and religious facilities. So it's a broad definition used in a lot of different contexts. It follows, obviously, to go against the Nazism. So it talks about how it's anti-Semitic to call for the killing of Jews, accusing the Jews of being responsible for committing certain wrongdoings, dehumanizing the Jews, accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of exaggerating or even inventing the Holocaust, denying the Holocaust, applying a double standard towards the Jews, drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policies to that of the Nazis. Now, if you are following what is happening in Palestine, you would see that the segregation that Israel has adopted is essentially an apartheid state, which is exactly what the Nazis did to the Jews during the Holocaust. The separation of the two people. And again, this definition, they say, the IHRA says that this definition does not exclude criticism of the state of Israel, but depending upon the pundit, depending upon who you're speaking to, this is a very broad definition that can be used to threaten people, to get them arrested, to have them lose their job just because they do not agree with Jewish policy, with the Jewish religion, with Zionism, with the state of Israel, and with the war. So to say that Israel is at fault for this conflict in Palestine, a lot of people are then going to say that I will be supporting Hamas and other terrorists, right? But that is not the case. You see, Hamas and these other groups that are fighting for the liberation of their people, they have committed wrongdoings as well. They have taken hostages, they have killed civilians, they have targeted civilians, and there is blood on their hands as well that I also condemn. But the fact of the matter is that Israel is at fault. Israel is at fault for this conflict in many ways, right? The reality is that after the Holocaust, the Jews was seeking a homeland. They went to Palestine, and the Palestinians opened their arms and allowed them to settle there. And what happened is a classic tale throughout all of history of European settler colonies. They settle in a land that is not theirs, and they eventually claim this land to be theirs. This has happened all throughout history, all throughout Africa, all throughout South America, and in America. This is exactly what the Europeans have been doing for thousands of years. And the justification for them taking over these lands has always been religion. Whether it has been Christianity or now Judaism, the European religion interpretation has always been used. They have always used a religious justification for the murder and the genocide of indigenous people. And you cannot hide behind this rhetoric of it being anti-Semitic to call that out and to criticize it, because it has always been wrong and there is no justification for it. No matter what the legal terminology they may try to use, there's no justification for what they're doing. There's no religious justification, and there's no legal justification for committing genocide against anyone and taking over their lands. And the state of Israel has committed atrocities, as many atrocities that we cannot be blind to, right? So they have targeted hospitals during this war, which is an international crime. They have targeted refugee camps, mosques, schools, and civilian neighborhoods. They have targeted civilian compounds, their houses. They have used collective punishment. They have restricted electricity, food, fuel, water. So it goes. There's many wrongs that Israel has done, and to say that these things are wrong does not make you an anti-Semitic, and to disagree with their religion does not make you an anti-Semitic either. So I don't want to see anybody get killed. I don't want to, because they're in war, there's casualties on both sides, and I'm not calling for the annihilation and the genocide of the Jews. All I'm saying is that the Palestinians do not deserve what they have been subject to, and that Israel is at fault for this conflict. And that does not make me an anti-Semitic. I follow His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. His Majesty said we must speak out on major world issues courageously, openly and honestly, and in blunt terms of right and wrong. And Haile Selassie did not adopt this definition of anti-Semitism. Nobody is above criticism. No one's above criticism. And the Jews are wrong for what they are doing to the Palestinians.